When you walk into a room and see the man you've been trying to avoid cradling your son as if he were born for it, you either run or surrender. I didn't run. I told myself it was just coincidence until I started counting the coincidences and ran out of numbers. It all began on an early spring morning in Brooklyn. The air was crisp, the streets damp from last night's rain, and my coffee tasted more bitter than usual. I had been a single father for barely 3 weeks, ever since I'd signed the adoption papers for Jamie. A 3-year-old with eyes too big for his tiny face and a laugh that could slice through the heaviest grief. Life had been chaotic in that beautiful, exhausting way only a child could bring. Enter Ethan. He came recommended by the adoption agency, a professional babysitter with glowing references and a soft voice that made Jamie instantly curl into him like he'd found a missing puzzle piece. At first, Ethan was just help someone to watch Jamie when I was drowning in work. But he kept showing up. Not in the clingy, intrusive way people sometimes do, but like he'd read my mind and knew exactly when I was about to break. The first time I noticed something different was on a rainy Thursday. I had come home early, briefcase still in hand, to find Ethan and Jamie sitting on the living room floor building a Lego tower. Ethan looked up, smiled in that slow, dangerous way that said he knew I was watching. "We saved you a spot," he said, patting the carpet beside him. My chest tightened in a way that had nothing to do with stress. By the second month, the line between employee and something more had started to blur. Ethan was there for Jamie's first day at preschool, cheering louder than I did. He stayed late, cooking dinner when I was too tired to move. And sometimes, just sometimes, our hands would brush when we passed the salt, lingering a second longer than necessary. I tried to convince myself I didn't notice. After all, I'd just gotten Jamie. My life wasn't about romance anymore. But there was one evening I couldn't ignore. Jamie had fallen asleep on the couch, clutching his stuffed bear, the TV's glow painting the room in soft blues. Ethan was sitting across from me, his knees brushing mine under the coffee table. He leaned forward, voice low. "You're doing better than you think, you know?" His gaze held mine so steadily that I forgot to breathe. From then on, it wasn't just about Jamie, it was about us. We argued sometimes, mostly about little things. Whether Jamie should have dessert before bedtime or if I was working too much. But those arguments always ended the same way, with the two of us sitting too close, laughing too hard, forgetting what we were mad about. The turning point came in late autumn. Jamie had gotten sick, the kind of fever that makes your heart race faster than the thermometer climbs. I'd been awake for 30 hours straight, my nerves frayed, when Ethan showed up unannounced with a bag of groceries and medicine. He took over without asking, tucking Jamie in and making me tea. At some point, I realized I was crying quietly into my mug. Ethan's hand came to rest on mine, firm and warm. "You don't have to do this alone," he whispered. I didn't pull away. From then, our lives started weaving together in ways I couldn't unravel, even if I'd wanted to. Jamie called him E, and sometimes, in sleepy moments, would reach for him instead of me. Far from feeling jealous, I felt safer. Like maybe the family I'd been trying to build wasn't just me and Jamie, it was the three of us. Winter arrived with snowstorms and holiday lights, and one night, after Jamie was asleep, Ethan and I found ourselves outside shoveling the front steps. The cold made our breaths cloud, and in the middle of laughing about something stupid, I turned and saw snowflakes caught in his hair. The world went quiet. "Why do you keep coming back?" I asked, my voice low. Ethan didn't hesitate. "Because you're worth staying for." I kissed him. It was slow and uncertain at first, then deepened into something that felt like home. When we pulled back, the snow kept falling, soft and relentless, as if the world approved. The rest of that winter was different. We still had challenges. Parenting wasn't suddenly easy, and life didn't magically become perfect, but now there were two of us holding the weight. Ethan moved in by spring, not because we needed him to, but because it felt inevitable. Looking back, I realized he'd been building something with me all along, just like those Lego towers with Jamie, piece by piece, patient and deliberate. And now, when I see him reading to Jamie on the couch, their heads bent close together, I know that this isn't just my story anymore. It's ours. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with the latest videos.